do people do this? Here is a method that helps you to become alcohol-free as fuck. People buy it, they pay good money to buy it in order for them to go through the workshop and come out the other end a completely different person, but they don't follow the instructions. Why? Well, there are 3 hidden traps.
Hope I ain't got no spag ball in my teeth. So we were late. Liza was hobbling around on crutches. I'm fuming at the world as always, thinking to myself, how the hell did they expect people who can't walk properly to get from the car park to the hospital? And then later I saw it, a row of wheelchairs, exactly where the map said they'd be, exactly where we never looked. Hello everybody, my name is Davy. I am not an alcoholic. I refuse to be anonymous. I am someone who lives a self-led life, alcohol-free as fuck. And I spend every waking moment of that life helping other people do the same, like right now, baby. So what am I talking about? Here's what happened. This morning, actually just got back, I had to take Liza to the hospital for a scan. But this place I had to take her was a part of the hospital we've never been before, right? And she's still on crutches because of her sciatica. The hospital had given us a map, to be fair. It was a clear one. It was a helpful one. Told us exactly where to go and what to do. But when we looked at it, we thought, hang on a minute. Like, if we pull up to the concourse, walk all the way inside, blah, 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 like the map says, it's going to be really difficult for her. So what we did, we looked at the route and thought, nah, too awkward. Let's do our own thing. And it ended up being a big mistake, right? Our better way was a nightmare, basically. So we looked at the map and we thought, well, if we just go down this way, we park here, then you can walk down here. When we did it, we realized that the road is barricaded off. I'm running around like a lemon trying to get her to her appointment on time. I'm sweating. I'm at my window of tolerance. I'm feeling really stressed, really anxious, and we nearly missed the appointment off, right? And then when I dropped Liza off, I went back and parked the car. And as I'm leaving the car park, I see a bay full of wheelchairs. And then I look at the map, and the map says that there are wheelchairs there. So if I would have followed the map, if I would have read the instructions and did what they said, it turned out that the hospital had actually thought of everything. I just didn't trust them. And before we go on a little break, I want you to think about that. Have you ever ignored clear instructions from someone, only to find yourself lost, frustrated, and late to your own healing? Pause with that for a moment until we have a short break. Welcome back to the 1000 Days Sober podcast. We are today talking about being given a clear set of rules and deciding not to follow it. So the hospital appointment this morning, it was a metaphor in motion, right? Liza and I had a perfectly good map, but we thought that we knew better. We didn't trust the guidance, and because of that, we suffered. And I want to ask you if that sounds familiar, because in my 15 years experience of being alcohol-free as fuck and living a self-led life, I see this happen all the time. Let me give you an example. The Strive method. So the Strive method is a 6-month workshop based on the theory of trans-theoretical change. It's a step-by-step process. It is a map built by not just my lived experience, but the experience of the countless people who've taken it, got to the other side, and become alcohol-free as fuck, living a self-led life. And yet, when people take it, there is still parts of them that think, yeah, but my situation is different. What if I just tweak this bit? What if I just ignore this module? What if I just don't do this assignment the way he wants me to, right? So why do people do this? Here is a method that helps you to become alcohol-free as fuck. People buy it, they pay good money to buy it in order for them to go through the workshop and come out the other end a completely different person, but they don't follow the instructions. Why? Well, there are 3 hidden traps, probably more, but 3 that I want to talk about on this podcast very briefly. The first is the illusion of explanatory depth. This is the belief that we understand something far better than we actually do. You know the feeling when you think you know how a toilet works, for example, until someone asks you how to explain it and you realize you haven't got the foggiest idea of how it works. Well, the same goes for your relationship with alcohol. You think you know why you drink. You think you understand the parts of you that want to drink. But when we're asked to explain it, when we're asked to go a little bit deeper, when we're asked to clearly define at the root cause what the hell is going on, we're really operating on guesswork and assumptions. The map looks too simple because we've overcomplicated the journey in our heads, right? That is the illusion of explanatory depth. The second issue that could be arising here when we're not following the rules is the Dunning-Kruger Effect. And this one's brutal, right? It says that the people who know the least, so the people who know the least about becoming someone who's alcohol-free as fuck, often believe they know the most. It's like when someone watches one documentary on fasting and suddenly they become a nutrition expert, right? So when you're early in your alcohol-free as fuck journey, you're at the most vulnerable point, because you don't know what you don't know, right? And at this stage, if you're suffering from the Dunning-Kruger effect, you're much more likely to avoid and ignore the guidance that is given to you at this early stage, right? So there's the Dunning-Kruger effect. And number three, and we cover this in the Strive method, psychological reactance. This is the rebel. This is a rebel in you, right? The part of you that says, don't tell me what to do, right? I know better than you. That's reactance. It's our internal resistance to perceived threats to our autonomy. And it's a really important when it comes around motivation and choosing and choice, right? Even if someone is trying to help you, which I am in the Strive method, if you're suffering from reactance, it feels like control and you push back. Even when the instructions are kind, even when they come with love, something inside says, I am doing it my way, right? And here's the tragedy, because those parts that are actually rebelling, those parts that are suffering from reactance, they're not the enemy. They're just scared. And they really think they're protecting you from failure, embarrassment, and pain. But in doing so, they often create the very pain they're trying to avoid. So what's the answer? It's so obvious. Keep it simple, stupid, as they say. Trust the bloody map. Trust the guide. But most of all, learn to trust yourself. Trust. It's all about trust, right? The part of you that knows you were made for more. The part of you that said, there's got to be a better way. The part of you that's listening to this podcast right now. The Strive method isn't about rules. It's not about dogma. It's a container. It's a safe one. It's a proven one. It's a bloody good one. And when you step inside it fully with trust and humility, that's when real change begins. Okay, on to today's daily vow. Today, I will not drink. Instead, I will trust the path that is in front of me, even if my parts desperately want me to take a shortcut. The Strive method isn't about control, it's about clarity. It is not here to trap you, it is here to free you if you'll just follow the map. Some reflections for you to think about today. What map are you ignoring right now in your life? Somewhere in your life right now, somebody knows how to guide you to somewhere you want to be, somewhere that is going to, take you a few levels up in the video game of positive disintegration. They'll up-level your consciousness, but you're ignoring them, right? Or you're ignoring the map or the guidance or the course. What is it in your life? Which parts don't trust the path? What are they afraid of, right? It could very well be you've been listening to this podcast for ages, but you still haven't decided to take the Strive Method workshop. Why? What is it, the trust issue going on here for these parts? And where might following the instructions, listening to a podcast, joining the Strive Method workshop, actually give you more freedom, not less? So have a think about that, answer those questions. You can email me at thestrivemethod@gmail.com or just post them on whatever social media platform you're listening to this, right? I hope that helped. Please rate and review the podcast wherever you are. Pass it on to somebody to help them, be their guide for them. Subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you are ready to stop wandering and start striving, listen, right? I became alcohol free as fuck 15 years ago. I've been helping people ever since that moment to do the same thing. If you're fed up of alcohol taking over your life, just go to www.thestrivemethod.com, join the waiting list to get onto the Strive Method, and I'll be in touch. Until tomorrow, know that you do not have to drink today. The path is very clear until the end of the day. You will not drink. Parts will try to divert you on a shortcut through drinking. Ignore them today, please. Trust in yourself. Until tomorrow, much love and strive on, everybody.